God, Shalom, Shalom, Israel, Shalom to the 12 tribes of Yasha Allah, getting the course. All honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh. Bahai Shema Mashah, Wabalaki Yahweh Shah. That's all praises, honor, glorification unto the Most High God Yahweh. In the name of His own begotten Son Yahweh Shah, this is Brother Yasha Allah coming back to y'all yet another video through the Spirit of Yahweh. Bahai Shema Mashah, Wabalaki Yahweh Shah. All right, Lord willing, all Israel has been enduring through the Spirit, and Lord willing, all Israel is having a blessed Shabbat through the Spirit, power Yahweh, Bashma, Mashah, Wamalaki, Yahweh Shah, purging out the leaven, purging out the demons, right, enduring all the afflictions and the vexations, right, that we endure in this world, man. So, Khan, Shalom, Shalom. So, um, so basically, this Friday night video, Friday Night Fire. Um, Lord Abaya joins in a little soon, Salakia, soon. So Khan. So and this is going into what? The night is coming. All right, the night is coming. So what does that mean essentially? Let's go to the book of John, chapter 9, verse 4. Now we're not talking about the literal night. All right. Remember, things in the scriptures, it comes with similitudes and allegories and a lot of metaphors. You think that Shakespeare had a lot of metaphors? You might have thought that, Edgar Allan Poe had a lot of metaphors. You might think that a lot of the poets, the famous poets of the world, had a lot of metaphors. Well, guess what? The scriptures come with a lot of similitudes and metaphors, right? And they come with a lot of, double meanings, triple folds, etc., etc. So you have to read these scriptures with the eye salve, man. You can't just pick up this book and think it's a damn Harry Potter book, or think it's a damn novel, or like Frankenstein or something like that, man. It's not so. This book, right? It's like reading a poem. You're not going to understand everything the first time you read it. You got to really properly analyze it, man, and have that spiritual eyesight that the Lord talks about. Right? Let's go to that real quick. Revelation chapter 3. Let's go to Revelation chapter 3 and verse number 18. I counsel thee to buy me gold tried in the fire. Right? Salaki, it says, I counsel thee to buy me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, in white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear, and anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. Right? So, Salaki. So the Lord said, anoint thine eyes with eye salve. So you have to anoint our eyes with eye salve. And what does that mean? Being able to understand, right, what we're reading, man, to see the words and to perceive it and to understand. Okay, so come on, let's get into this. Let's go to John chapter 9, verse 4. It says, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. So the night is coming in which no man can work. You understand? Right? Shalom.
Shalom.
God. So we got the brother in here. All praises. So the night is coming. All right. The Lord said that. He said the night cometh when no man can work. So that's why the Lord was always on the job. Let's go to the book of John, chapter 7, and verse 17. Right? It's like in John 5 and 17. John 5 and 17. It says what? But Yahushua answered them, my Father worketh hitherto, and I work. So the Lord said, my Father worketh hitherto, and I work. Meaning my Father is always on a job. He's always working. My Father worketh hitherto, and I work. So Yahushua was always working. He was always laboring. Going from Jerusalem to Jericho, from Jericho to Galilee, from Galilee to all these different cities in Israel. To preach the gospel, man, and to do the work of the Lord. He was always on the job. He was always working, right? My Father worketh hitherto, and I work, right? So that's why in the Lord, he said, John 9 and 4, he said what? I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. And we we're saying the same thing. We're saying the same thing because we have to work the works of him that sent us. And who sent us? The Most High. He sent us to do this work. to put the brakes down. You understand? To read, to pray, to fast, to occupy till he comes back, right? So the Lord, he sent us to do this job on a spiritual level. So we must work the works of him that sent us while it is day. While it is day. What is that day going into? The light, right? So we see the light. We understand the truth. That's what that's going into. Right, let's go to John 8 and verse 12 real quick. It says, then spake Yahushua again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. So Yahushua is the light of the world, right? He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. So he that walks in the Lord, and if you believe in the Lord, you're not going to walk in darkness, right? You're going to have that light of life, right? Because Yahushua literally is that light. So while it is day, this truth is out. You can find it. You can go down Peachtree, right? On a Saturday, go down Peachtree, all right, in Atlanta, the downtown. I believe it was like one of the longest streets in Atlanta, right? You can go down it right now and hit 3 camps, right? I believe HOI, SOT, and WFI, or 4. See, hey, I have to be corrected, man. Brother said 4, man. 4 camps in the same street, right? And it's not like these brothers is in the damn some damn in the backwoods of Georgia somewhere, some damn where nobody, what I'm saying, knows where the hell that is, right? And the damn backwoods of Georgia preaching to bring out the word. They're right there, man, in the cheap place of concourse. So there's no excuse in that day. You can literally get that truth. Passing out the flyers. You go on YouTube, see the Hebrew Israelites, right? The black Hebrew Israelites, or whatever that madness, right, that they put on us. But the Hebrew Israelites, right? This is not. Hey, this truth is out here. Instagram, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. This truth is out here. It's day. If you have ears to hear, it's daytime. But the night cometh when no man can work. As soon as World War III, martial law, the internet being thrown down, the electricity, once that happens and all hell breaks loose, guess what? There's no more working, man. There's no more laboring. There's no more fasting. No more going out to teach. There's no more of that. That's when the night is going to come on a spiritual level. One for Pecan, you got it, King.
Kanye, let me get this precept real quick. In Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 5, and it reads, O house of Jacob, come ye and let us walk in the light of the Lord. So the Lord told the house of Jacob, the Israelites, man, come ye and come walk in the light of the Lord. And we know that the light that their brothers bringing out is Yahushua, referring to what? John 9 and 4. And I believe that was what? John chapter 8 and verse 32, was it, you said?
John 8 and 12, Con.
John 8 and 12, right? That he's the light, man. Walking in his ways, keeping his commandments, like it says in Proverbs 6 and verse 23, Psalms 142. Let me get that real quick in Psalms 142. 119 in verse 142 real quick. All right, this is the Psalm, the 119. It's out here. In verse 142. Psalm 119, verse 142, and it reads, Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. And what's righteousness? Is keeping the laws, like it says in Deuteronomy. So we have to come to the light, because when the light is gone, that nighttime come, there's going to be wickedness, all hell going to be breaking loose, rape, robbery, thefts, and things in that nature. Jacob's trouble happening, bombs and missiles getting dropped on this place. It's going to be darkness. You don't know. And when you're in darkness, you can't see. You're stumbling over your own steps. You don't know what's going on. Even in Second Esdras, chapter 7, I'm going to start at verse 28. It was prophesied about that. Second Esdras 7, verse 28. For my son Yahushua shall be revealed with those that be with him, and they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years. And when you read this, it's a good prophecy, because in the time of Ezra, it was about 400 years before the time of the Roman Empire of Yahushua. But that's good. That's that timeline links up. So verse 29, and after these years shall my son Christ die, and all men that have life. And that happened. Christ died first in a green tree, like he said in Luke. And then guess what? After him, Peter, Paul, all the apostles and the disciples, they eventually died and things in that nature. Verse 30, and the world shall be turned into the old silence 7 days, like as in the former judgments. so that no man shall remain. And after the light died, it flickered out like Yahushua. He left the world. Hey, he was the light. He left the world. You didn't have that light no more, especially when the prophets and the disciples, the apostles, they all died and things in that nature. They didn't have the light. It was back to wickedness. Esau being wicked as hell. People don't know who they are. We don't know who our heritage is. All hell was just breaking loose. You had 70 AD. You had kids getting tossed from off the top story, man. You had a lot of persecution that happening. People fleeing from Jerusalem all the way to the west coast of Africa. Let me get that precept real quick. Let me just bring it out. Because even Yahushua said that, man. This book of Luke. This book of Luke, chapter 22. 23 and verse 28. And it reads, But Yahushua, turning unto them, said, Daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. So this was when Yahushua was carrying his, about to get crucified. And then he had a company of women, weeping for him. But he said, Don't weep for me, man. Weep for you and your children. Verse 29, For behold, the days are coming in the which they shall say, Blessed are the barren, and the wombs that never bear, and the paps which never gave suck. Why would he say that? Because on a one-fold prophecy in 70 AD, hey, you won't have time to nourish your baby, man. You're gonna be on a run from Roman persecution and things in that nature. And even in Jacob's trouble, you have a kid, it's gonna be burdensome. You're over here trying to hide in the woods. Your baby's yelling, screaming because it's hungry. You got a 2-year-old with you, don't know what's going on. He always want to play around and things. A bad behind kid want to play around, gets you caught up and gets you shot, man. The Lord said, "Hey, woe unto," it says, for behold, the days are coming in the which they shall say, Blessed are the barren in the womb that never bear, and the paps which never gave suck. And don't forget, it's going to be a famine. Don't think this time that's about to come is going to be easy. Well, y'all always talk about this. It's not going to come to pass. You got people who think it won't come to pass. It's a green tree right now, man. You can still go out there on the highways and byways. Verse 30, Then shall they begin to say to the mountains, Fall on us, and to the hills, cover us. For if they do these things in the green tree, what shall be done in the dry? So if they put the Lord to death in the green tree, meaning in the so-called good time, how much more when all hell is breaking loose, man? How much more? And that's what you call the nighttime, man. When all hell is breaking loose. Jacob's trouble, bombs dropping, World War III, a famine, persecution, blood getting shed, dogs and animals released from the zoo. That's what you call the nighttime, which is coming quickly. But King, you got it.
Con, that's right. That's right. It's lucky. Con, that's right. So yeah, I'm gonna pull this precept to lay me back on the brother saying, let's go to the book of Proverbs. All right, let's go to Proverbs chapter 24. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 24 and verse actually, let me see. Right. Actually, let me see. Right. Let's go to. Actually, I would want to touch back on that verse. Right. I want to touch back on that verse. Right. John 9 and 4. Right. Lay me back on the brother saying. All right. So let's go to John chapter 9, verse 4. Right. It says, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. So guess what? Yahushua wasn't in the world for eternity, man. He didn't come back. He didn't come to the earth 2,000 years ago and then just, just stayed here. Nah, he went back up into the third heaven. Okay. And though the disciples and the understanding endured for a time, then men started to wax evil and evil and worse and started to stray off from the actual proper doctrine of Yahweh and Habashah, and then guess what? The truth faded away. And like how the brother brought out during the dark ages, man, the dark times in which the Lord literally took the truth out of the earth, right? But guess what? That truth is coming back. The truth is coming back. That light is coming back into the world and is now. All right. That's why we have to make use of that light. See, even if when you go to the book of Psalms, all right, let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 18. All right, let's go to Psalm chapter 18 and verse 28. right? It says, "For thou wilt light my candle. The Lord my God will enlighten my darkness." So the Lord said, "Thou will, for thou will light my candle." You know, so you want the Lord to light your candle. You want the Lord to light your candle. But even if you light a candle on a physical level, if you just leave it there, it's going to burn out eventually. All right, it's going to burn out. It's going to run out of wax. You understand? Some wind might come to it and might blow it out. So it says, "For thou will light my candle, the Lord my God will enlighten my darkness." Meaning what? The Lord is going to enlighten your spirit, right? And we want the Lord to enlighten our spirit. That's why even when you go to the book of Philippians, chapter 2, verse 15, the Lord said we shine as lights in this dark world, right? Philippians chapter 2 and verse 15, it says, "That ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of God, without rebuke, in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom ye shine." Uh, Among whom ye shine as lights in the world. So we shine like lights in this world. Because remember, this world is dark, right? This world is dark. That's why it gets deep, man. Because we're saying that the night is coming, but the dark is this world is already dark. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? But it has light at the same time. That's why it's kind of deep. You know, this video is kind of deep. Because when you go to the book of Job, right? It gets deep for real, right? When you go to Job chapter 10 and verse 21, it says, "Before I go whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death, a land of darkness as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death, without any order, and where the light is as darkness." So remember, there is light in this world, but the light is as darkness. Why? Because darkness is associated with what? Evil, wickedness. That's the darkness. That's their light. Because remember, you have two lights. You have the light of righteousness, which is, Yahweh Shah, the truth, keeping of the commandments. Even in Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23, the Lord said, "For the commandment is a lamp and the law is light." You know? So, hey, the law is such commandments, that's a light, you know? But on the flip side, the evil, the wicked, Satan, he has a light, right? And his light is what is shining in this world right now. So that's why even on another fold, we're going to get into that a little later, right? Even on another fold, night is coming even onto the wicked, in which their light is going to be put out, right? But Khan, you got it, King.
That's why it's important that we get these waters while we can right now. The fountain of waters, like it says in Isaiah. I can actually probably get that right now. But we should begin this water, and going to the Lord and seeking the Lord to get that light. Because when that time comes, it's going to be too late. We're not going to have light. It's either you have light in your dwelling places right now or you don't. Don't be like the Egyptians that had darkness, and you're part of the Egyptians because you cleave unto them, and you have darkness too. But the Israelites, they had light in their dwelling places. But this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 12 and verse 3. Therefore, with joy shall you draw out, Therefore, with joy shall you draw water out of the wells of salvation. So we should be drawing water out of the wells of salvation, getting a true knowledge of the Most High God, being sincere and truth and sincerity, and keeping the commandments and having that light burning within us, which is that candle. Because even in the law, you got to get that oil olive and beaten so you can have that oil olive burning forever, man. It shouldn't go out. Let me get this other precept real quick too. Because there's one good precept. So okay, let me see if we can find it. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30. So that's not it. I can probably find it later. There we go. Isaiah 26 and verse 9, and it reads, "With my soul have I desired thee in the night." So in the nighttime, the elect, the righteous, they desire the Lord in the night. And like your brother said, on one fold, it's already dark right now. It's wicked on the earth, wickedness. But in that day, it's going to be even more wicked. Right now, you could probably say it's evening right now. But right when that sun goes down, it's complete darkness, man. Because you have 12 hours in a day, and that sun is slowly going down. Then you got 12 hours at night. We're about to enter into the period of the nighttime, man. Right? Because hey, man, I'm going to keep going. And it reads, yeah, within my spirit, within me, will I seek thee early. So we should be seeking the Lord early before that sun goes down. That's symbolic to before that ark closes, before the mercy of the Lord, that grace period closes, man. Because right when that sun goes down, is it? It's either you was sincere, keeping the commandments, or you wasn't. For when thy judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. So when all hell breaking loose, they gonna understand it was wicked. They gonna understand that the Most High God Yahweh is a man of war. They gonna understand that the people they was scoffing at, the people they had in derision, the people they looked down on the highways and byways, calling them niggas, telling them go get a job, telling them go groom yourself, telling you your hair nappy, telling you all these different things. Your breath stink, man. Guess what? They gonna get destroyed, man. The Lord's not gonna be dealing with them. They won't understand that the prophets were speaking judgment that day, man. But Kanye, we can get into it though. You got it, King.
Khan, that's right. That's right, Khan. I'm gonna get this precept to let me back on the brother saying, man. That's definitely right. This night is coming, both for the wicked and for the righteous. So that's why, like how the brother's saying, we have to stock up into the light, stock up into the wisdom, because there's something called the famine of the word, right? And that is a little prophecy in the Bible, man. And yeah, there's going to be physical famines. There's going to be physical famines, right? There's going to be physical earthquakes. There's going to be physical pestilences, right? But there's also going to be a spiritual, right? A spiritual famine, because remember, just for as much as you might feed your body, you also have to feed your spirit, right? So let's go to the book of, right, let me see what I want. All right, let's go to the book of Isaiah 24, right? See what I want. Yeah, Khan. Hold on. Okay, Khan. Salakia. I'm gonna get this real quick. So I'm gonna get Isaiah chapter 24 real quick. Or actually, yeah, Salakia. I'm gonna get second Esdras first. Salakia. All right, let's go to second Esdras, chapter 6, and verse, right, 23. It says, or did you bring this up?
La.
Okay, Khan. Second Esdras chapter 6 and verse 23. And the trumpet shall give his sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So the springs of the fountains, what's that? It's going into the word, huh? This word is seen as a light. This word is seen as fountains of water, and it's going to stand still, and it's not going to spew any more wisdom out. Just like how we've been saying, there's a lot of wisdom that's literally raining down, right? Let's go to Sirach, right? Like how the Lord says, wisdom raineth down. And you literally have wisdom raining down. So many channels out there, so many videos of edification out there, right? You know how many camps there are with YouTube channels and videos and just individual brothers making videos too? It's thousands, man. Thousands, hundreds of thousands. How many brothers in this truth? Sisters, men that go out and teach. There's a lot, you know. Let's go to Sirach, chapter 1. Sirach, chapter 1, and verse 19. Wisdom reigneth down, skill and knowledge of understanding, and exalteth them to honor that hold her fast. So wisdom reigns down, right? And just like, hey, guess what? You can't stop the rain. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. You can't stop the rain. You can kind of shout at it, yell at it. Hey, stop raining, right? Stop raining, man. You can't stop it though. And so this wisdom is raining down. But there's going to come a time, just like with any rainstorm, it could be storming for them 3 days straight, 3 weeks straight, just raining, right? It's just not stopping. And then the Lord can just have it stop right then and there. That's how he's going to make this light to shine too, right? This light just like our brothers beautifully put, it's like the sun going down. Guess what? Can you cause the sun to come back up at your own will? No, you can't do that. Neither can you make the sun go down any more faster. Only the Lord is in control of that, man. Right? So he's controlling that sun, and it's constantly going down each day. Right? But you got it, King.
When that spiritual famine hits, it's gonna be utter chaos, man. Let me get this precept real quick. You're not gonna have no one on the highways and byways breaking down who you are, saying you're an Israelite. You gotta do this, that, and third if you want to be in favor towards the Most High God and things of that nature. You're not gonna have the prophets out there giving judgment to the heathen and having them bow down, having Esau bow down, and get that bootlicking going, man. You're not gonna have those things. The prophets, they're gonna be hit. They're gonna be taken care of by the Most High God. We're gonna have some who has to be martyrs and get put to death in this thing. But the Most High God gonna be with them. But they're not gonna be out there on Peachtree in front of View Bars and Grill in Atlanta, teaching. They're not gonna be out there in California teaching, man. But this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 11, and it reads. I'll start at verse 10, and it reads, "For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and have closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, hath he covered." So he's going to seal up the prophets, man. He's going to seal up all the words of knowledge. Because don't forget, and that precept the Lord brought out in Isaiah, he's a fountain of waters. You got to get the fountain of waters right now. In a fountain of waters, guess what? In a well or just things of that nature, is all waters accumulated from the rain and things of that nature. You can easily get a bucket, throw it in there, get some water, and go about your day. But when that water starts drying up, that well has no more water, you throw a bucket in there, you're going to hear a dink, right? There's no water in here, it's going to look down, it's dry. Same thing is truth, man. You got to get the water while you can. Verse 11. In the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, "Read this, I pray thee." And he saith, "I cannot, for it is sealed." So in that day, you might meet a prophet. You might meet the brother Yasharallah in the wilderness, man. You might have a Bible saying, "Can you break this down?" And guess what? I cannot, for the book is sealed, man. The Lord going to seal up the spirit of wisdom. He going to take it back from off the earth. He going to close it back up, and it is what it is. Verse 12, "And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I am not learned." You might just meet a random homeless guy. You might read a so-called pastor. You tell him, "Can you break this down? What's going on? Why is there bombs dropping? What prophecy is this?" Guess what? He said, "I'm not learned. I don't know what's going on." Why? Because the Most High did that. Because you didn't seek him early. You took this for a joke. You want to do your own will. You didn't believe in the Most High God. You scoffed. You so-called atheists, right? You believed in tarot card readings, manifestations and things of that nature. So in that day, it's gonna get bad and ugly. That's why we have to get the word right now. Let me get this one real quick, Salaki. If I can find it through the spirit, that would be amazing. But I read in Jeremiah that they rejected the Lord, the fountain of waters, man. Paraphrasing. Let me see if I can find that. You could probably go ahead and start going with yours. I do want to bring this precept out if I find it though. But you got it
though. If I could find this precept, that'd be cool too. Man, I know it's in Psalms. All right. It's lucky. Oh yeah, it's right here. All praises. All right, let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 104, and verse number 21. All right, let's start verse 20. It says, "Thou makest darkness, and it is night, wherein all the beasts of the field, so like all the beasts of the forest do creep forth." So, hey, guess what, man? The night is coming, right? In the night, you have all manner of beasts of the forest coming out, creeping, upon the earth, man. Right? All these different animals, right? And hey, the mighty brother Drew the Mighty, Shalom, Shalom, damn, all praise, right? It says, "Wherein all the beasts of the field, it's like all the beasts of the forest do creep forth." So even on a spiritual level, man, remember, men are referred to as beasts, and when the night comes, that's when all the creatures really show their true colors, man. Right? Because you might run across a certain creature in the daytime. It's not the same when you run across it in the nighttime. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same, right? It's much more, frightening. They get more of this, attack instinct, you know. So it says what? Verse 21. And remember, men, they're going to be running rampage, man. Rampant. Because there's not going to be any light on a spiritual level. Because even when Esau's light, right, his illuministic ones, they show forth. Because remember, some of their laws that they, institute upon the people, they take that from the scriptures, man. They take it from the scriptures, from the philosophies of Hamites, from the philosophies of Moabites. A little bit of the Greeks, a little bit of the Romans, a little bit of the Babylonians of their wisdom, right? A little bit of the Persian and Medes, a little bit of their wisdom, and mixes it all up, and shines that and puts that upon the people, right? So guess what? Even with their light, that's order, right? Because Esau has some type of order. And that day when the night comes, it's not going to be any order, man, right? Because remember, in that nighttime, when that night comes, a spirit hops on people, man. Spirits hop on people in the night. The beasts of the earth come out at night, the owls and the what else? The owls and the bats and the witches, right? And the and the ghosts and the monsters in your closet, man. When you look at it, the children, when they open the closet in the daytime, the monster's not there. When they're going to sleep, like 10 o'clock at night, then the monster appears. How come he's always appearing in the night? Because that's when the monsters and the beasts of the forest come out, right? God's like, don't want to be long-winded, but verse 21, it says, the young lions roar after their prey and seek their meat from the Most High. So that's what we're doing too, right? Verse 22, the sun ariseth, they gather themselves together and lay them down in their dens. Man goeth forth unto his work and to his labor until the evening. So, you know what I'm saying? We're working until the evening. And that's why it's so many folds. Because literally, when you go to the book of Matthew, the 20th chapter, in the first verse on down, the Lord talks about the laborers being hired in the vineyard and how they work, they're working in the vineyard until what? Until the evening. And that evening is when what? That end of the day, in which they're going to get their reward for a penny a day. So there's so many folds to this. You understand? So many folds, but kind of don't want to get too deep. I put that precept just to show that guess what? At the night, that's when we're going to cease from our labors. All right. It's not like how I said, it's not going to be any more fasting. It's not going to be any more teaching, no more YouTube, man. Right? No more YouTube videos. It's done. Can't come to the Lord after all hell had broken loose 6 months ago. There's no more. There hasn't been any more internet for a damn whole year, and think to make a YouTube video. Oh man, let me just get one more in. Nah, man, it's done. Right? But Khan, you got it, King.
Yeah, I found a precept I was going to bring out about the waters, because we got to get the waters, like your brother's saying, we got to get the waters right now, because in that day, we won't be able to get it. The YouTube going to be shut off. Ain't no watching no breakdowns. Ain't no making videos, going out to teaching things of that nature. But this Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 13, and it reads, for my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters. So Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh, he's a fountain of living waters, man. When you drinking of that cup, when you're what's it called, learning, growing this thing, guess what? You're getting that water from the Lord. And who them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. That's like having a cup. It has a hole at the bottom, and the water's constantly dripping out. It's good for nothing. But let me get this one precept too. Actually, you got it real quick. Hold on, you got it.
Khan, well, yeah, that's right. That's right. The Lord is literally likened onto the fountain of living waters. And the Lord said to drink waters out of thine own cistern as well. All right, let's go to that real quick. Proverbs chapter 5 and verse 15. And the Lord said that too. Proverbs chapter 5 and verse 15. Drink waters out of thine own cistern and running waters out of thine own well. So we want to drink waters out of our own cistern, right? Shalom, shalom, brakatham Osias. Shalom, right? It says, Drink waters out of thine own cistern and running waters out of thine own well. So you want to deal with your own nation and you want to deal with your own God, not these other gods, man. And because these other nations and these other gods and religions, philosophies, they have their own type of water. They have their own type of wisdom. They have their own type of customs and way of doing things. We have our own well, which is who? Yahweh Bahashua Mashak Havashah. Hey, what does the Lord say in the book of John, the 4th chapter? Let's go to that. John chapter 4 and verse 10. John chapter 4 and verse 10. Right? It says, Yahweh Shah answered and said unto her, if thou knewest the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, give me to drink, thou wouldst have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. You see that? So the Lord said that he can give you that living water, and he is the fountain of living waters. That's why out of him is flowing, right, those living waters onto us. And so we have to utilize that to the best of our ability right now, man. Because right now the electricity is on both a physical and spiritual level. The light is on, the candle is lit, there's running water, there's a food prepared for us, a table of food that we can eat from, man. All of this is prepared for us. But when that night comes, that's it. It's going to be done away with. Now you're going to be left with what you had and what you had taken, right? Because at nighttime, there is no more laboring. At nighttime, there is no more of that feasting. There is no more of that getting of that living water, man. It's going to be shut. And namely, you understand, people that have taken and utilized this time that the Lord has given them, and the grace and the mercy thereof, they're going to be well and have abundance, man. And just like how the Lord said, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry, man. But these other nations, or like not the other nations, but these other even Israelites that do not repent and do not take and utilize their time right now, seeing that the night is approaching. And guess what? When that night comes, they're going to be done. They're going to be done for. Right? So let's go back to that. All right. I want to pull this precept real quick. Let's go to the book of Micah, chapter 3. Actually, before I get there, I want to go to Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 23. Right, Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 23. I'm going to start at verse 20. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage. And the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, and it shall come to pass that day that the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. So the Lord is going to punish the host of the high ones that are on high. He's going to punish the high and lofty ones. Let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 2. Yeah, everyone that's high and mighty and that's exalted in this world, he's going to abase, man. And he's going to judge the host of the high ones that are on high. Right, let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 11. I'm going to start at verse 10. I'm going to start at verse 6. Right, it says, and the mean man boweth down, and the great man humbleth himself. Therefore forgive them not. So the Lord is going to humble the great man. Okay. Verse 10, enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust for fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty. Because right now, the Lord, he doesn't have respect, man. Right? He doesn't have respect. Even with, and I'll put this analogy out. For people that have, let's say, pets, right? People that have pets, or for men that own like a fish tank or whatnot. Hey, guess what? Those fish, I always think about, you can turn off or turn on the lights. That's like you basically you control their night and day, man. You can turn off the light, you can turn it back on. And those fish, they can't do anything, right? So you can literally leave it on. You can leave it on if you want, or you can just turn off the light and just leave them in the dark, you know? So you have that power to do that. And what do they think? Basically, they see you have the power of light and darkness. You see that? You have that power, right? So the Lord, he's going to get his fame and his authority, or he has his authority, but rather his status back again by guess what? Hey, guess what? Showing us that I can turn on and turn off these lights, man. He's going to turn off the light of the world. All right. He's going to turn off all the lights. So it's going to be all hell breaking loose. All right. But ultimately, he's going to turn it back on with that righteousness. All right. If that makes sense. And then I'm going to read verse 11 real quick. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of man shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. So Yahweh alone is going to be exalted in that day. We're going back to this real quick. All right. It's lucky. What was that? Isaiah 24. Yeah, come on. Isaiah chapter 24 and verse. Isaiah chapter 24 and verse number 22. Right. And remember, this is going into end time prophecy. Right. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit. They shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited. So we're going to be gathering up these kings. Because remember, the Lord said that in Jeremiah 16:16. He's going to be sending hunters, man. And they're going to be hunting them from every mountain, from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks. So literally, the elect, they're going to be hunting down these kings of the earth and the hosts of them, right? And what? They're going to be shut in a pit. Shut in a pit. They're going to be bound up. And after many days, they shall be visited. And, remember how the Lord, he's not very specific when it comes to prophecy a lot of times. So, what we perceive through the Spirit, what brothers perceive through the Spirit, is that basically we're going to be gathering up these slaves, putting them in the pit, and we're going to celebrate first, man. We're going to celebrate, sing praises unto the Lord after many days, and then they're going to be visited. Then they got to, be set forth to labor, man. But con. And here's the main point, verse 23. Then, so at that time, right? Then the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, when the Lord of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and before his ancients gloriously. So the moon is going to be confounded, and the sun is going to be ashamed. What does that mean? Does the moon literally get confounded? You can be having a conversation with the moon, and you confound the moon, because the moon thought John 3:16 was going into the Lord loving the whole world, but you confounded the moon because you pulled Isaiah 45:17, and they couldn't answer that precept because the moon is not as smart as the sun, right? No, that's not what it's going into, right? The moon doesn't literally have knowledge and stuff like that. So what it means is, remember, the Lord speaks in similitudes. The moon being confounded and the sun being ashamed is going to Esau's wisdom being as not, man. Because remember, just like how Israel has a sun and the moon, Esau has a sun and the moon, but his moon and his sun is going to be ashamed, right? It's going to be confounded. Their wisdom is going to be thrown away. All their science, their false science, their wisdom, their knowledge on the left-hand side is going to be thrown away. It's going to be ashamed. When what? When the Lord of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion. Because we understand, according to the precepts, even in Revelation, its 22nd chapter, that the Lord, his light is going to be shining. And they no need for a light of the candle or light of the sun or light of the moon. But the Lord, right, is going to be that light. If that makes sense, right? But Khan, you got it, King.
Khan, yeah, the light on a spiritual level of Esau and his wise man, so-called, is going to go down. Right now, they probably, even not even right now, they kind of, going low. But back then in 2016, 2013, and things of that nature, in the 1990s, they prospered. They knew what they was doing. But right now, the Lord's making their sun and the moon go down on a spiritual level, meaning their wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, And shoot, I can really start. You can really start verse 3, but I don't want to be long winded. I want to get straight to the point. But I'm gonna get straight to the point. Verse 14, and it reads, "The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit." So the Lord going to make Esau, the so-called white man, stagger in his vomit, because he's known as the ancient Egyptians right now, the modern Egyptians. Salakia. I guess that's in Revelation chapter 8. No, because even in ancient Egypt, the Lord caused a spirit of darkness to be upon them. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 10, and verse 21, and it reads, "And the Lord said unto Moses, Stretch out thine hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt." And that can be literal or spiritual. On a spiritual level, though, as the brother speaking on, that darkness is not know what to do. When all hell is breaking loose, you just seem you're not the same no more. You're not really carrying yourself the same way you used to be. You probably had what's called a so-called husband or woman in the world of things of that nature. At first, everything was good about them, but later on down the road, they're just not carrying themselves how they used to be. They don't have that same aura or that same zeal, and things of that nature. Same thing with Esau. He used to be very smart, very wise. His witchcrafts, his wizards, warlocks, and things of that nature, he was on point. Now the Lord, he's confounding the wise men. Even when you read verse 9, it reads, "Moreover, they that work in fine flax, and they that weave networks," like Isaiah 19, verse 9. "Moreover, they that work in fine flax, and they that weave networks shall be confounded." So the Lord is the reason why some people get confounded. And the Lord is the reason why he exalts people and make them prosper. Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar in Jeremiah 8, what's called 25 and verse 9, I believe, he was called a servant. Because the Lord made Nebuchadnezzar conquer these nations and conquer Judah, man. Even Esau, the Lord set them up to be on what's called on the left hand side, to rule on the left hand side. But guess what? Now the Lord, he's gonna be the reason why they fall, to confound them. Verse 10,
Yeah.
"And they shall be broken in the purposes thereof, all that make sluices and ponds or fish. Surely the princes of Zoan are fools, the counsel of the wise counselors of Pharaoh is become brutish. How you say unto Pharaoh, I am the son of the wise, the sons of the ancient kings. Where are they? Where are thy wise men? And let them tell thee now, and let them know what the Lord of hosts hath proposed upon Egypt. The princes of Zoan are become fools. The princes of Noph are deceived. They have also seduced Egypt, even they that are the stay of the tribes thereof." You see that? So the Lord's the reason why these wizards can do the same thing as they can. Even when you listen to so-called music right now, it's not the same. You look on Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, it's not the same no more because they don't have that same aura. It's boring. You don't have that same so-called spaz because they don't know what's going on anymore. They don't have the same. I don't know, man. You know, Babylon is
Yeah.
losing their so-called aura and things in that nature, but it's because of the Lord. The Lord set somebody up in the daytime, in the darkness. He sent darkness and confound them, and their wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Guess what? Being confounded. But Khan, you got it, King.
Khan, that's right. That's right. Khan. Hey, that's what the Lord said in the book of Proverbs. Right? Go to Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 9. All right, so go to Proverbs chapter 13 verse 9. It says, "The lamp is like the light of the righteous rejoiceth." So we the light of the righteous day, that's rejoicing, man. That's what rejoices our spirit. It's the light of the righteous, man. The light that's inside of us, the fire, the literal fire that's burning up in us. You know, the Lord said that his heart, or David said his heart muses, man. And his heart is burns within him. Uh, Even when you go to the book of Jeremiah, one of my favorite accounts, real quick. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 20. One of my favorite accounts is Jeremiah. All right, Jeremiah chapter 20. All right. Lucky. Hey, man, brothers is tired, man. Brothers is tired, but still got to do this labor to the spirit. Hey, don't you think that the priests were tired? The priests were tired. Hey, you can read that all throughout the scriptures. Hey, Malachi, the priest was just damn, just All right, damn, whatever. It has three eyes, damn, whatever. Throw it up, man. I don't think it has six legs. Throw it up to the Lord. I don't care, right? You know, kind of just not carrying this thing because it was getting repetitive, and they was getting weary. You can't be like those men. You know what I'm saying? We can't be like those men. They get tired. Even though it gets tired, guess what? We still got to push through it, right? So you know. But yeah, God, right? Lord willing, the Lord has mercy, right? But let's go to Jeremiah chapter 20 and verse 7. Oh Lord, thou hast deceived me, and I was deceived. Thou art stronger than I, and hast prevailed. I am in derision daily. Everyone mocketh me. For since I spake, I cried out. I cried violence and spoil, because the word of the Lord was made a reproach unto me, and a derision daily. Then I said, I will not make mention of him, nor speak any more in his name. So Jeremiah was like, man, I'm done. I'm done being a prophet. This stuff is hard as hell. I'm constantly getting mocked. I had to sit down by myself while I hear the filthy conversation of the wicked. And I'm in derision daily. Everybody mocks me, man. Imagine that every day. You say every day. Brothers get mocked like what? Once, twice a week. When we go out to the highways and byways. We might get mocked, every so now and then. Jeremiah was getting mocked every day, right? Hey, that kind of gets grievous onto a man. But it says what? But his word was in mine heart, as a burning fire shut up in my bones, and I was weary with forbearing, and I could not stay. So that fire, man, was burning in him. That's what the Lord said, thou will light my candle. You want your candle to be on fire. You know what I'm saying? Burning. It's burning, man. You want the Lord to keep, with if you have not a match, but a lighter, you know what I'm saying? You have a lighter, you keep lighting it. You have the incense, you know what I'm saying? You light the incense. You already lit it, but you just keep lighting it. Just like seeing it burn. You want the Lord to do that to you, your spirit. Just keep lighting it, Lord. Or if you liken it onto a campfire, that fire that you have, keep adding branches. You want the Lord to keep adding branches, keep adding the air. You understand? Keep adding the gasoline, or not the gasoline, but the oil, right? To hyping up the fire, man. Right? It says, but his word was in my heart as a burning fire shut up in my bones, and I was weary with forbearing, and I could not stay. Basically, like what? Hey, try to hold your pee for a damn couple hours, man. If you really got to go, you're going to go, right? If you really, it's like, I just got to go. I just, I got to let it out. That's how Jeremiah felt in the spirit. I just got to prophesy. I just got to read, man. That's how brothers feel too, you know? Man, I just got to read. So you kind of duck off at work. Like, hey, where's so and so at, man? I don't know. Hey, you might be at school taking notes in class. You just gotta get into the word. Gotta pull the scriptures out. Hey, it is what it is, man. Right? It is what it is. But Khan, you got it, King.
I got a precept with that. 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 37. For my spirit was greatly set on fire, and my soul was in distress. So sometimes your soul or your spirit might be greatly set on fire. I don't know, are you zealous as heck? Brothers should be praying for zeal in these last days, because sometimes it can lower. You just tired. Your spirit just get pressed down by the flesh, and you just tired. You so-called, the brother saying, like the priest, you're just going through the motions. It is what it is, spirit. You don't want that spirit, man. You don't want that presumptuous sinning spirit. You want that zeal, being zealous. You want that, if brothers can have ears to hear, that so-called over-righteous spirit sometimes too. That's you being zealous, man. It's better to be more righteous than to be overly wicked, and things of that nature, man. So you want to be zeal, man. You want to have that zealous spirit. Even another precept, even in Luke chapter 24, when Yahushua, he appeared in another figure, so-called, he was speaking to these two men after the crucifixion, and they didn't know that was Yahushua because their eyes were blinded. But they said when he was talking to them, hey, their hearts were on fire, man. But this is the book of Luke, chapter 24, and verse 32, and it reads, and they said one to another, did not our heart burn within us while he talked with us by the way, and while he opened to us the scriptures? And we need to get that same zeal back right now, especially when we have the light. We have the water, man. We should be zealous in that day of darkness, knowing that the Most High God is with us, having that ever sure confidence like the Maccabees brothers, man, like Judas Maccabees, knowing things of that nature, right? But that's all.
That's right, King. That's right. Good, and that's a good precept, And I want to just touch back on that verse, Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 9. The light of the righteous rejoiceth, but the lamp of the wicked shall be put out. So that, at the end of the day, the lamp of the wicked is going to be put out, man. And no, it's not going into a right, not going into a literal lamp, right? It says wicked on the lamp, right? It's not going into a literal lamp. It's going into a spiritual lamp, like how we're saying, the spiritual light of the wicked. What is the light of the wicked? Esau's institutions, Esau's universities, what he teaches, his philosophies, the do as thou wilt spirit, American philosophy and doctrine and way of life. That's Esau's light. It's going to be put out at the end of the day. But the lamp of the wicked shall be put out, right? It's going to be turned off by the Lord. He's going to turn on that righteous lamp. Khan, you got it, King.
Khan, I got a precept with that too. I'm going to start at verse 1. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth. So we're still in the days of our youth, man. Bro's only been in this thing for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4, things of that nature. You just now came into this truth, figuring it out about the Most High God. You got some people who've been in this truth for 30 years, man, which is a blessing. But the Lord said, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So before the evil days draw near, man, you should be remembering the Most High God, doing the things you need to do. But these wicked people is going to catch them like a snare. They're not going to know when a day of darkness is going to come upon them. The Lord said, it shall come up, if you're not watching, it's going to come upon everyone as a snare. Roughly paraphrasing, like it says in either in Luke 21, I believe, or Matthew 24, either one, and things of that nature, man. Verse 2, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. So right now we still have the sun. We have the light. In Isaiah 60 and verse 19, that sun, the moon, it represents the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And the Lord, he's higher than that because he is the light. He's our understanding, our wisdom, and knowledge and understanding and things in that nature. While we still have the sun and the moon, the light, we know where we're going. We have guidance. We have counsel. We have these scriptures. We should remember the Most High God and ponder upon our ways to get ourselves right. Because if you're in darkness, guess what? You're going to be calling wickedness. Like the brother's saying, these creatures don't come out in the daytime. You don't see these wild behind beasts in the daytime, man. You really hear them really at night. You got raccoon going at it in a dang trash can. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. You sleeping. Your trash can just knock over all of a sudden. You see 5 or 7 raccoons come out of it, man, stealing your trash, right, and things of that nature, man.
Right.
You got these snakes, frogs come out. All these creatures, owls come out, man. All hell is breaking loose. You go outside in the country. You hear all these different animals quaking, or however you say, quaking, and things of that nature at the same time, because they're all out at the nighttime, because they can see in the nighttime. But you can't see in the nighttime, man, if you don't have the Most High God. So you're gonna be consumed by these beasts. You're gonna be consumed by rapists. And the brother made a good point, man. You're gonna have in that day in Jacob's trouble, man. You're gonna have these mentally ill people that's breaking up these mental institutes, and they're gonna be doing a lot of killing and raping that day, man. So if you don't have the Most High God in the day of darkness, it's gonna be bad for you, right? Verse 3, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong man shall bound themselves. And the keepers of the house is Esau. He's the one that keeps the electricity bill on for the whole country and things of that nature. He's the one that gives you water, that gives you food, and things of that nature. And the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. Right, and that's on a twofold level. Darkened, well, on a spiritual level that we're speaking on right now, you looking at the window is darkened. You see nothing but all hell breaking loose. You see people killing each other, stabbing somebody. You might look at the window in one house that you're in right now, you might see someone getting robbed for kitty litter, man, something random, for one piece of bread. You might see someone in a chokehold and he just pass out and give up the ghost, man. You might see a creepy dude at your window. You look at the blinds. It's a creepy dude with a mask on. He got a chainsaw knocking at the window on a literal level, man. It's madness. But on a spiritual level, you look at that window. It's nothing but wickedness and darkness and all hell breaking loose. Verse 4. And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. And the daughters of music on the chiefly level is Esau. Right now they turning up. They might be at a frat party right now. They might be at a bar, getting into a fight because they're overly drunk. They might be at these damn strip clubs and things of that nature. Right? They're the children of music always trying to turn up. But the Lord says it's gonna be brought low, and things of that nature. They won't be having fun. They won't be having fun starving for 3 days and 3 nights. You're gonna have some people who won't be eating for 6 days and 6 nights and things of that nature. And on the seventh day, they're gonna give it the ghost. They're gonna be trying to eat people. You're gonna have cannibalists and things of that nature. You're gonna have people hunting you down the street, trying to take what you got. And the only thing you have is a Bible, and they want it still. So it's gonna be all manner of folly and madness. But
Con, that's right, King. That's right. Man, I'm trying to scare my screen, but it's madness. But I was just I'm gonna basically just showing on my phone right now. Then, right, just basically nocturnal animals, right? Just to further expound on what the brother was saying, real quick.
Right. While you get that, I'm gonna try to get a precept, man.
Con.
Because even in Second Esdras, chapter 5, and you can really start at verse 7. I'll start at verse 6, and it reads, "And even he shall rule whom they look not for, that dwell upon the earth, and the fowls shall take their flight away together. And the Sodomitish sea shall cast out fish and make a noise in the night, which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof." But this the point. "There shall be a confusion also in many places, and a fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beast shall change their places, and mysterious woman shall bring forth monsters." So we're gonna have these wild beasts, because you have zoos in almost like every city. The zoo of Atlanta, and do they have a zoo over there where you live, Akeem?
Gone to San Francisco Zoo, about like 2 hours away. Yep.
Yeah. So they got all these different zoos, and that's really the Most High being multiple steps in front of Esau, knowing how he's going to take out this kingdom. And the Lord put a spirit on Esau to have these animals in these cities, just so he can release them in that day and have it attack people. You're going to see lions in the streets. You might see a dang zebra, a giraffe. You might get bodied by a gorilla. You might look at the window, you see someone squaring up with the gorilla. And the gorilla take him by the throat and slap him down to the ground, man. And start going. All hell breaking loose. His guts coming out his mouth. All hell is just breaking loose, man. That's not far fetched. You might see a dang penguin pimp slap an old lady, man, and start slapping her around and using his beak to kill her. You're gonna see a lot of crazy stuff, man. And then guess what? You might be by yourself. You don't have the Most High God with you. You see a lion in the way, and a lion tear you to pieces. You see, let me get a precept real quick. Even when you I believe that's in First Kings. We was going over that, man. On this one call, you might see a lion and all these different beasts. In that day, you might get torn by a lion. The Most High God's not with you. Let me see if I can find it though. I think you got it. Yeah, you got it, King. Actually, I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get this precept real quick. Then I can't find this one. I'm gonna get this precept. Man. That's cool. This is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 2, and verse 23, and it reads, "And he went up from thence unto Bethel, and as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city and mocked him, and said to him, Go up, thou bald head. Go up, thou bald head." These some bad behind kids. All right, verse 24. Let's see what the Lord did. "And he turned back and looked on them and cursed them in the name of the Lord, And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood, and tear 42 children of them. You see that? So you can be in darkness, be in wickedness, all hell breaking loose. You didn't keep the commandments. And guess what? Now you're in Jacob's trouble. You're a pilgrim on the earth. The Lord out of nowhere bring out 2 she-bears that tear you to pieces. Their claws, they scraping out your intestines. Your small intestines come out. You're still alive. The bear put his bit behind mouth in your head and chop it to pieces. Hey, all hell can break loose, man. But Con, you got it though.
Mm-hmm. Khan, that's right, King. That's a very good point, man. The Lord, hey, just like how the spirits, you know what I'm saying, can hop on people during the night. That's why a lot of freaks, the freaks, they come out at night. Hey, it's always something about the night, right? I'm gonna get this preset, man. Always something about the night, the evil, you know what I'm saying, starts coming out, right? That's why you got parties. It's always Friday night. It's never Friday like 9 a.m. Right? It's at night, right? Most of the time, man. Right? Let's go to Sirach chapter 23. Sirach chapter 23 and verse number 17. I'm sorry, verse 16. 2 sorts of men multiply sin, and the third will bring wrath. A hot mind is as a burning fire. It will never be quenched till it be consumed. A fornicator in the body of his flesh will never cease till he have kindled a fire. Here's the point. We're going to the point. All bread is sweet to a whoremonger, and he will not leave off till he die. So all bread, this bread is going into women, man. Right? A whoremonger, he doesn't care. He'll eat damn little bread, fat bread, if you got ears to hear, sweet bread, white bread, brown bread, wheat bread. He doesn't care, man. The damn $1 bread versus the $10 bread, loaf of bread. Guess what? He doesn't care. Sourdough. He doesn't care. He will not leave until he die, man. Right? Verse 18. Here's a point. A man, and there's a lot of men like that upon the earth. All right. There's a lot of men, like that is upon the earth. And of our people too. You see this man, you see a man really is, and it's just spirits for real. Really, spirits on him, plaguing his mind. That's what's sad. Because you will literally see a Jake with a fat, damn bare ass looking ass Edomite, man. Like what? It's just spirits upon him, man. Spirits. Pecan, verse 18. A man that breaketh wedlock. So even the adulterer, right? That's what it means to break wedlock, and that's very wicked, man. To break something that the Lord put asunder. Guess what? And if you do that, guess what? Guess what? He's gonna kill you, man. If you do that thing, the Lord said, "What the Lord has put together, let no man put asunder." So unless you repent and unless the Lord has mercy, the Lord's gonna straight up kill you, man. Meet you as a man, right? Because that's very unrighteous to break a marriage. You understand? To get involved into that. Now you steal this brother's woman. That's very off, right? A man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart, who seeth me? He says, who seeth me? Remember, it says he seeth it. It says it saying thus in his heart, who seeth me? He might not say it out loud while he's doing the act. Yeah, who seeth me? Right? In the act there, but he says it in his heart. Who really sees me for real? Nobody sees me, right? Who seeth me? I am compassed about with darkness. So he understands that he's doing it in the dark. He's compassed about with darkness. See, when the dark is, in the dark, you can't see. You can't see. So that light is not there to expose your wickedness, right? I am compassed about with darkness. The walls cover me, and nobody seeth me. What need I to fear? The Most High will not remember my sins. So then he said it right then and there. The Most High is not going to remember my sins. Just like kind of sounds like you Christians, man. It kind of does. Because what I hear sometimes is like, The Lord will forgive. How do you know that? You know, how do you really know? It's crazy. They'll be like, well, God is forgiving, and what you mean? So you really you're gonna willfully sin and say that the Lord is gonna forgive you? That's madness, man. That's madness. But so just going back into the topic, you know, the man, there's a lot of wickedness that goes on in the night. So when that night cometh, we understand that a lot of evil even is going to be multiplied upon the earth, and men is going to do according to their pleasure and according to their own will. That's why it's going to be really dangerous, man. And even these animals, the Lord can put upon spirits of vengeance upon them, just like how the brother was eloquently breaking out or bringing out, man. Because the Lord, just as much as He's put spirits upon men and women to do their wickedness, when that night comes, He can do it also to the creatures of the earth and the beasts of the earth. I see the damn gorilla just running, you know, three people in this hand and two people in this hand, man. Like, damn, right, just running. It's like, hey, you don't even know where he's taking them from, right? But here's some nocturnal animals. Damn, just dropped my phone, man. But yeah, I can share my screen now, so that's cool. All right. All right, so let's look at some of these. It says the bat, the bat. And remember, bats they drink blood. All right. Bats drink blood. The raccoons, hey, they're robbers. They're robbers. They're little robbers. Cuz you look at their even right here, you know, it's like they have a mask on. Like this outlining right here, you know. They're literally like robbers. They'll go into your trash, take everything that you have. Right? The moths, the owls, the scorpions. Imagine that, man. Scorpions, they come out at night. If you mess with a scorpion, it's gonna sting you, you know? So a lot of creatures come out at night. The spiders, the skunks, the possums, man, the foxes, right? And a lot of predators, they come out at night too, you know? They'll come out at night too. All right. So Khan. But Khan, yeah, you got it, King.
Con, even when you read about, Yahweh, man, they didn't take him in the daytime. They took him out night. Because wickedness happened in the nighttime, not in the daytime. You got people who stalk you. What happened when people get robbed? Usually it's in the daytime. I mean, in the nighttime. And things of that nature when you get robbed and things of that nature. A thief comes, I guess that's in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Don't be caught, unawares, in the darkness. But, Salakia. Heck. Well, I'm in Matthew. Matthew chapter 26. And verse 22, and it reads, Salakia, and it reads, you know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. Then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people unto the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, and consulted that they might take Yahushua by subtlety and kill him. So he was taken by subtlety to be killed and be destroyed. Now it was everything was about that was planned out and subtle. It wasn't just a coincidence that they came at night, that they came around 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., or 4 a.m. and things of that nature. It was planned out because they knew in the daytime your house should be amongst a lot of people, but in the nighttime he'd be in a certain place with only certain people. Because when you read isn't it in Matthew? I just learned this new precept too. If I can find it, I'll praise the Most High. If not, then that's what it is. But I can't find it. But it says it was nighttime at that time. So it shows you that night, some things at night happens more wickedness, in the nighttime than the things in the daytime. But you got it. I'm gonna try to find this precept. I do want to bring that out. It's a good precept to prove what I'm saying. But
Khan, that's right. That's right. Yeah, it's that nighttime, man. That nighttime. I also got a precept for that too. Job 24:14. It says, I'm sorry, verse 13. They are of those that rebel against the light. They know not the ways thereof, nor abide in the paths thereof. So, a lot of people, they rebel against the light, man. You know, they rebel against what? The truth, against Yahweh, against the Most High. It says the murderer, verse 14, the murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and needy, and in the night is as a thief. That's why, you even have a law in Exodus, I believe what was that, the 22nd chapter, right? Or the 23rd, I believe it's 22nd. Going into literally directly the thief. If you find him breaking through and it's at nighttime, and if you kill him, there shall no blood be shed for him, man. So even you have a direct law dealing with thieves that might come to your house at night, because that's when they mainly come, right? Verse 15. The eye also of the adulterer waited for the twilight. So the adulterer, he's going to wait for the twilight. All right. He's going to wait for the twilight, because that's when the spirits, you know what I'm saying, you kind of get into the lustful spirit at night. Now and brothers can attest to that too, right? Satan, you know what I'm saying, he will come at any time of the day. It doesn't really matter for real. At 3 p.m. all the way to 3 a.m. Doesn't really matter, right? He will come when the Lord sends him, if you have ears to hear. But, really he comes, I'm pretty sure brothers can attest to that too. And he will come mainly at night, man. He will come mainly at night. Why? Because he has that dominion, right? In the nighttime. But it says what? The eye also, the adulterer, waiteth for the twilight. So the twilight is hey, man. That's in the nighttime for real. That's not just when the sun immediately just went down, and there's a little, like, the sun is set, but there's still the little light, that slither of light that's still there. But the sun already went down. No, this is talking about the twilight, right? The eye also of the adulterer waited for the twilight, saying, no eye shall see me, and disguiseth his face. In the dark they dig through the houses. It says, in the dark they dig through houses, which they have marked for themselves in the daytime. They know not the light, for the morning is to them even as the shadow of death. If one know them, they are in the terrors of the shadow of death. You see that? So they know not the light, man. And that's how it's going into, the light is going into something spiritual and not literal, right? But Khan, you got it, King.
Kanye, I found a precept in Mark 14 verse 30, and it reads, and Yahweh said unto him, verily I say unto thee, that this day, even in this night, before the cock crow twice, thou shalt deny me thrice. So Yahweh was so-called apprehended, or whatever you want to say, in the nighttime, man. That's when all wickedness, when Peter denied him, Yahweh got so-called beat up, stumped out, smitten. That all happened in the nighttime, leading up to the ninth hour. When he got put to death, so called. I also want to get this real quick too. In Job chapter 4 and verse 13, to link up with the brother, like all wickedness, all spirits come out in the day in the dark time. Job 4 and verse 13, and thoughts from the visions of the night, when deep sleep falleth on man. So you might be upon your bed, you just meditating, and guess what? You fall asleep, or you might see a vision out of nowhere, or start thinking wicked things. That starts happening in the dang dark time when you by yourself, when you about to go to sleep in your bed, man. All of a sudden, now you think about accounts that happened a long time ago. Then you get an evil eye out of nowhere. You get demons put upon you. You got you get less demons put upon you. Like, you was on fire, things in that nature. You got done doing a video. You read, gave counsel, things in that nature. But right when you start to tuck it in, you get your little warm little blanket upon you. You got to go to sleep, get the fan turned on, you feel nice, a demon come and tempt you and messes with you, and all hell breaking loose, you can't go to sleep, man. That comes at nighttime. Because when you go to sleep in the daytime, you take a nap, so-called, more than likely, you straight, man. You straight, you so-called comfortable, you wake up like nothing happened. But in the nighttime, all hell break loose. And verse 14, fear came upon me, and trembling, which made all my bones to shake. Because when you really in the dark time, you start to realize Jacob's trouble is going to be, so called scary. It's going to be bad. You realize that when you by yourself in the dark time, man. Everybody can talk a good game when it's daytime out. You're not scared because everybody's awake, everybody's around, and things of that nature in the daytime. But when it's dark, you're by yourself. It get kind of serious, man. It get kind of real. It
Right.
bursts out ears. Verse 15. Then a spirit passed before my face. The hair of my flesh stood up. Probably had sleep paralysis. Probably had a wicked dream. You probably had a so-called nightmare, as they say, a nightmare. That usually happens when you're in the bed at night, man. Having nightmares. You're scared to
Yep.
get out of your bed. You want to run to the door, open the door, and run to the living room because you're scared and things of that nature, man. That happened in the night because demons come out at night. They even say the hour of Satan or something like that is 3 a.m. You know.
Mhm.
Let me see. Yeah, that's really it on that. But Con, you got it.
Hey, Khan, that's right. Hey, even going into that word, nightmare, you know, nightmare, you know, you have it mainly at what nighttime, because that's when the spirits, hop on you. That's when the spirits come out and be released, right? Hey, that stuff is real. We're not just making stuff up, right? Who really has? I mean, you could have, a bad dream during the daytime, but really, who really does? For real, it's really, in the deep dark hours of the night, and then you wake up in cold sweat. You look at the times like 3:30 a.m. You know, you wake up in cold sweat. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, but when you're trying to pull an all nighter, it's going good through the spirit. The first hour is all good. You're not even that tired. It's like, yeah, reading in the precepts, and all of a sudden, Satan just hops on your back out of nowhere. Always during the night, right? But God, that's right. That's right. I want to get another preset on that. All right. You want to, during the nighttime. Let's go to the book of Job, chapter 5. This book of Job, chapter 5, and verse number 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. So the Lord, he disappoints the devices of the crafty. Who's the crafty? Esau, he's crafty. He is very crafty. Satan, he is crafty. What does it mean to be crafty? Let's look it up. Crafty. All right, definition. It says what? Let me just share my screen real quick. So crafty definition: clever at achieving one's aims by indirect or deceitful methods. Sounds like Esau to me. Sound like Esau to you, King?
Con.
That sounds exactly like Esau to me. Right? So Esau, he doesn't care. If he wants to get something, he's going to do it by any means necessary. He literally says that, by any means necessary. So if that means deceiving you, lying straight to your face, shaking your damn hand, which he didn't wash when he came out the damn bathroom, right? Shaking your damn hand like this, laughing at you, or laughing with you rather, thinking and humbling himself and making himself or making you think like he's cool with you and stuff like that. If he has to do that, he's going to do it. If he has to do whatever, right? He's going to use cunning craftiness, man. Right? He's going to use cunning craftiness and cleverness, because Esau, he's very meticulous when it comes to evil. And remember, he gets all that wisdom from who? Satan, man, on the left hand side. That's why we're saying this light that he has from Satan, right? Just like how that light is shining upon the nation of Israel. Let's go real quick to the book of Micah. All right, this light that's shining upon the nation of Israel, Micah chapter 7 and verse number 7. Therefore, I will look unto Yahweh. I will wait for the God of my salvation. My God will hear me. So we have to look unto Yahweh. Verse 8. Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. When I fall, I shall rise. When I sit in darkness, Yahweh shall be a light unto me. That's a fire as precept. But the Lord, but Micah, he says what? When I sit in darkness, the Lord is going to be a light unto me. So just as the Lord is a light unto the nation of Israel, Satan is a light unto these other nations, and first and foremost Esau, man. That's where he gets all his wisdom and knowledge from, right? And his spirit, and his powers on the left hand side, right? So, and he's clever, all right? He's very meticulous. You can even read that in Genesis. He tried to use his cunning craftiness. Bless me, even me also, my father, man. He was crying, but he knew what he was doing. Esau knew what he was doing when he sold his birthright. He probably had it all planned out, you know. But Khan, you got it, King.
Khan. And I'm gonna get precept. Talking about how even Babylon, man, we're in a land of darkness right now.
Right.
A lot of wickedness. That's why you have all these demons tempt you, man, out of nowhere. You try to be in a good spirit. You try to do this, that, and the third. You just can't sometimes, man. You just got the spirit because it's wicked here. This book of John, Shalaki. This book of Job, man. Yeah, I can't speak right now, man. My mind all over the place right now. It's just, hey, man. Like the brother said, brother's tired in this thing. Dang, man. Book of Job, chapter 10 and verse 21, and it reads, "Before I go whence, I shall not return, even to the land of darkness in the shadow of death." So right now we're in the land of darkness in the shadow of death, man. There's no light here. There's nobody keeping the commandments for real. Everybody's doing everything for their own pleasure. People they give all they say they want to be righteous. They give alms. They're doing it for their own pleasure. They get be seen of men. They post it on Instagram, taking pictures, man. You got people killing one another, hating one another, putting pork in your food. Hey, man, like your brother said, you work in a fast food industry, or you have in the past. You know that everything is intermingled once with another. You might say, no, they won't do that. They know that I'm allergic to shrimp. They won't do that. Hey, man, they put it in the same fryer, man. They do not care.
Yep.
So you might go out to eat. You think you keeping the laws. You getting something that's so-called dietary law, but guess what? It was mingled in with the shrimp and the pork, man. But it's to the Lord's mercy that we aren't consumed. But the thing is, this place is wicked. That wouldn't be happening in the time of David, in the time of Abraham, in the time of Moses, man. Right. Having the pork, having pigs with the cows and things of that nature, man. That's going off, right? But this place is wicked as heck, man. You got pork in your toothpaste. You got pork in everything. Everything here is unlawful and unrighteous. I was thinking about how Esau don't keep none of the laws, man. It's wicked. That's why this place has to go. Let me get a precept. Even it tells you in First Maccabees, ever since the so-called white man came into power with Alexander the Great in 331, or some say 332, the Battle of Guacamela, guess what? That's when wickedness started to increase. This is First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 9, and it reads, verse 7. "So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth," man. So ever since the so-called white man came into play, evils were multiplied, man. And after Rome fell, it got built back up again. Now it's America. America took all the wickedness of these different kingdoms. Now it's nothing but darkness, man. Wickedness. But this Job 10 and verse 22, "A land of darkness as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death, without any order, and where the light is as darkness." So even their light, if they say they have light, it's darkness for real, man. How is that possible? You got light right here, and you can see, but how is it darkness? Because their light, their understanding on the left hand side is wickedness. They say you should go to their schools, their college. They give you a college plan that you can pay back. I forgot the name of that one company that helps you pay for college. Simi, start with the S. I don't know. I don't know these things, man. Jake don't deal with that. Some Jake do, but some Jakes don't do with that. But yeah, they give you a payment plan. They say if you go here, guess what? We'll help you pay for college, and guess what? And we'll also help you get a job and things of that nature. If you join this fraternity, we'll help you get a job. You have a good name and things of that nature. You have a good reference and things of that nature. That's their so-called life. Going to college, going to the military, doing the things of the world. But it's really wicked, man. It's really wickedness. It's not light at all. It's still darkness. But Khan, you got it, King.
That's right. That's right. Yep, it's very wicked, man. Hey, universities probably some of the wickedest people go there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. It's off. It's off. If high school is wicked, then how much more college? But I want to pull this up because a brother brought out good points, but literally it's madness, man. Hey, this nation is just wicked, right? I want to get let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, and verse number 12. It says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which it is weaken the nations?" So, okay, now brother's about to get bugged out right now, right? Brother's about to get bugged out. And they read Lucifer. Man, that's why I don't like you Christians, bro. Like, I don't. Christians are annoying sometimes. I'm just saying that Christians are annoying sometimes because they really think that Lucifer is talking about the spiritual demon Satan when that's nowhere in the Bible. Where can we find that at? Lucifer only appears one time in the Bible, and they think that that's talking about the spiritual demon Satan. Yeah, you know. But let's go back to that, right? So it says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which it is a weaken the nation?" So let's go into that word for Lucifer, right? What does it mean? All you got to do is look at the original language, because you can't study the Bible without going into the original language. You can't do it, man. You can't. Like, would you think that the Bible was written in English, right? It was written in the Lashon Kadash. So here's the word for
Strong's H 1966. Haleo. Haleo.
Right. So it says Lucifer, light bearer. See that? And they kind of going off. And they say Satan. Right. It's not going into Satan. I mean, you could say because Satan has a chosen people, which is going into, what I'm saying, Esau, right, Edom as a whole, but it's going into the king of Babylon, right? It's going into the king of Babylon, but it's really going into the illuministic ones of Babylon the Great, right? So literally it says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?" Because Esau, America, they shine their light to the world. And here's a prime example of that. Esau, he started promoting homosexuality and whatnot, a sodomy. Then the other nations, they start turning to that. They start accepting it a little bit more because Esau starts to push it upon them, right? So, hey, let's read this. It says, U.S. Congress clears $25 $25 million dollars for democracy gender programs in Pakistan. This is legit. This is little. This is real. This was in 2020, right? This was in 2020 December, but literally Biden approved of this. It says the U.S. Congress on Tuesday approved USD 25 million civilian aid package for Pakistan to strengthen democracy and promote women's rights in the South Asian country. So they want to get these Pakistani women to act a little bit more independent, so-called, you know, act more independent and have so-called more rights. And then soon, and the Lord said, "Behold, I will make a new thing, a woman shall compass a man." Ultimately, Esau, he's down with that, man. A woman compassing a man and his woman leading him sometimes, man. Right? That's off his head. Right? It says, right. So and guess what? That is a lot of money. $25 million. While you, Jake, you're out in the hood. You can't even get a job. While Esau is giving Pakistan $25 million, which they don't really have. Let's be for real, which they don't even have. Because look at the national debt of America. Right. Okay, so Here's the U.S. national debt. That's $30 trillion. That's not billion. That's $30 trillion.
Is that still counting?
That's live, Op. This
It's going up by the second.
is going up, man. All day, every day is going up. And this is how much you have to, each citizen in America has to pay in order to pay off that debt. 91,124. I'm not paying that. Shoot, what you think? I'm paying that? Nah, man. Esau, he's going down, man. Esau is going down. He has too much debt to pay. Too much in terms of money, finances, his economic status, and also what? Debt, because you touched the Lord's people. So now you got to pay that debt too, right? And put him in slavery. Now you got to pay that debt too, right? So Esau has a lot of debts that he has to pay. That's why he's a fugitive and a vagabond upon the earth, you know? So yeah, this is the literal national debt. Like this is literal, like this is legit, right? And but this is how much America is making. So America is making money. They're just not making enough to pay off the debt, right? So yeah.
Got preach it real quick. That's spiritual, man. Like I said, they in debt to the Lord. They can't get out of that, man. This is like a revelation. Yeah, if Jake was in debt like that, they will. Hey, Jake would probably kill himself, man. He wouldn't even deal with that, man. How do you get in debt like that? Like that's not.
That's
you the one praying the money, man. You know, dang, man. Esau, it's all spiritual, man. This is book of Revelation. They want us to pay it. So, like, they want us to pay it. You know, things in that nature. This is book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 5, and it reads, "For his sins have reached into heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities." And that's spiritual because her sins have reached into heaven. They got to pay all that because they can't repent. Like it says in Hebrews 12, verse 16 and verse 17, they can't repent. So all those sins they committed from the time of Esau and his progeny and things of that nature, they have to pay it, man. And that's a lot. Even if you have one life right now to repent for everything you've done from the time of Esau, it won't be enough. It won't be enough of a lifespan to repent for. So really, you're done. You know, you're done in this thing, man. And you gotta pay everything. And I believe that's even in I want to say Luke. You know that precept about let me see if I can find it. Even in Luke, you gotta pay every stripe, man. You gotta get paid every stripe or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. That paid to the last mite.
Yeah,
like come. I believe that's Luke. Might even be 5. Nah.
If you can't find it, it's strong. You probably look it up on the Blue Letter. You still have it pulled up.
I do, yeah, But
that's spiritual, man. Esau gotta pay all that back, and it is what it is. And the thing is, it's spiritual too. I think I found it. Let me see.
Luke 12.
Yeah, I found it. And the thing is spiritual too because it goes into. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, it goes into how if you want mercy, you gotta show mercy, and they have to show us mercy, referring to Isaiah 47 verse 6. So since he didn't show us mercy, the Most High's not gonna show him mercy. So they gotta pay everything, man. That's a parable that Yahweh Shah said, man. That's a parable. Sure. I believe of the steward, if I'm not mistaken. But this is the book of Luke.
That's right.
Chapter 12 and verse 47. And that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more. I think that's what I wanted. But the point is, you got to be beaten with many stripes, and things of that nature. And Esau has the world, so really the Lord gave him committed unto him much. That's why he got to get these stripes much more, because Esau has the world in his hands to do certain things to make the whole world righteous. Yet they made the whole world wicked, and all that blood is on their hands.
Yep. Hey, even the Lord said that thou mayest destroy them that destroy the earth. So Esau, hey, you messed up, man. Esau messed up, right? Let's go to Revelation chapter 18 and verse 20. It's lucky, not 18. I think it's 11 and 18. Right? Revelation 11 and 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath has come. If these nations are angry at America, what you think America is in debt to? You think he's in debt to damn Cuba, right? Or Puerto Rico? Or Puerto Rico is American territory, but what you think America's in debt to, man? Greenland, right? Iceland? Nah. They're in debt to these major world powers. Russia, China, hey, maybe even India. Hey, these major world powers. Guess what? China, hey, they kind of want their money, man. They kind of want, you know what I'm saying? Right? China being this major, world power, they want their money. Russia, they want their money too. And Russia, hey, they kind of are, now sometimes it's not even about the money. Just like how the Lord said, and the Medes, when the Medes come in the book of Isaiah, they're not going to spare it, not even for gold, right? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So it might even cut a pass in which the debt is so high that Russia's like, hey, guess what? I don't even want the money anymore. It's about blood now, right? It's about dominion, right? It's about rulership. So I'm read this again, Revelation 11:18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. So who's destroying the earth? Esau. Esau destroys the earth. The fumes in the air, with everything really. Styrofoam cups, that's destroying the earth. With everything Esau is making, you know what I'm saying, it's destroying the earth, right? And let's also go to the book of Isaiah chapter 10. I'm gonna go to Isaiah 10 and verse, right? Let's see here. Isaiah chapter 10 and this whole thing, right? Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 12, it says, wherefore it shall come to pass that when the Lord had performed his whole work upon Mount Zion and on Jerusalem, I will punish the fruit of the stout heart of the king of Syria and the glory of his high looks. And for he saith, by the strength of my hand I have done it, and by my wisdom, for I am prudent. Hold on, I need to pull this up on the screen, man, because Esau, this is the pride of the nations right here. When the Lord deals with a certain nation on a high level, like how the Lord deals with Esau, not in terms of righteousness, but in terms of wickedness. When the Lord deals with Esau, when the Lord deals with the Syrians, the Lord deals with the Babylonians on a high level with the Grecians, they get pride, they get too ahead of themselves, and then let pride bring them low. Just like how the Lord said real quick in the book of Proverbs, a man's pride shall bring him low. Proverbs 29 verse 23, a man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. So a man's pride is going to bring him low. So I'm going to read this real quick. Isaiah chapter 10 verse 13. For he saith, it's going into Assyria, but really on a spiritual level, we got ears to hear, going into Esau as well. By the strength of my hand I have done it, and by my wisdom, for I am prudent, and it's all about I. See, that's Esau, man. I, me, right? And I have removed the bounds of the people and have robbed their treasures, and I have put down the inhabitants like a valiant man, and my hand have found as a nest the riches of the people, and as one gathered eggs that are left, have I gathered all the earth, and there was none that moved the wing, or opened the mouth, or peeped. See that? And what does the Lord say to that? Verse 15. Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth therewith? So if you're chopping down a tree, you got an axe. Is the axe going to be like, yeah, I'm so mighty? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know I'm so sharp. I can chop down that tree. Listen, if you had not if you didn't pick up that axe and sharpen it and do all of this work chopping down the tree, the axe wouldn't have done anything. So the axe is not going to get up and boast against himself or itself against him that is using it. Doesn't make any sense, right? And guess what? I'm the one that's controlling the axe. The axe is not is helping me. I'm not helping the axe. The axe is helping me, right? Or shall the saw magnify itself against him that shaketh it, as if the rod should shake itself against them that lift it up, whereas if the staff should lift up itself, as if it were no wood. You see that? So the Lord literally has to bring Esau down because he's getting too He's getting too prideful, man. That's why the Lord, boom, you know. That's why the Lord did that. All right, but Khan, you got a king slide. I don't want to be long winded.
You sure can. You doing your thing. I got a precept with that in Isaiah 47 and verse 8. The whole chapter is nice. But verse 8, and it reads, "Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given the pleasure." And this whole country, man, the so-called white man, even the whole world, they're given to pleasure. There's only a few men that's like Yasharella, who tries to be disciplined, refrain from, pleasure and things of that nature, man. And those are the people in the truth. They refrain from pleasure. You got some people in the world that so-called has that so-called mentality. They refrain from wine. They're abstinent from women and things of that nature. But really, it's the man of the truth. Young men, you got brothers in this thing that's only 18, 19 years old who's refrained from certain things and have discipline to refrain from pleasure, man. But everybody else, every day they get drunk. Every day they want to go smoke a dang vape in the bathroom stall, man, at school, right?
Yeah.
They smoking weed, hot boxing the car, eating all this dang junk food, man. They don't fast. They want to eat, and consume.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why that goes back to the topic. Darkness is upon this place. It's nigh at hand, like the brother said, man. Right? Because they don't. It's a joyous city. They're always going to be in myrrh and have joy. But I forgot how it goes. But wise man's heart is in the house of mourning. Because he knows what's up. If you're a wise man, what's called oppression maketh a wise man mad. Things in that nature. That's why the so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they're more stern in certain situations than these other nations. At work, they be asking me. I was telling a brother this the other day, yesterday, asking me, "Have you watched the new Batman? What games did you play?" I said, "I don't play no games." No, I haven't watched the new Batman. Have you watched Breaking Bad before? What's that? Or in things of that nature. What's that? And they were like, "You don't act like a 20-year-old." I'm like, okay. And things of that nature. I'm like, okay. How am I supposed to act? Yeah, I play video games 24 hours out the day. Yes, I watched that. I watched the whole so-called, I don't know how many seasons of Breaking Bad. Yes, I watched the new Batman right when it came out. I had my popcorn. I had my friends with me. And guess what? We got fat together in that theater room. No, I'm not going to say that, man, because I don't do that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to keep going. And it reads, that goes carelessly, that says in the heart, I am, and none else besides me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. And even the brother Yasharala, he got stories, man, that he be telling me about how these people be saying wicked things. They might be 30 years old, they're old, and guess what? They still talking about some wicked children things. But I know you got a point. Go ahead and bring it out, King.
Hey man, God. Hey, there's plenty of examples, man. And I just want to say this one. Yeah. Man, I know this Eve, right? She's kind of new to the school. And basically I was just talking to her and she said that basically she quit smoking like two weeks ago, right? Mind you, this Eve is 15 years old. She said she just quit smoking. I'm like, what? And she said, yeah, I started smoking ever since I was 11. Man, this is wickedness, man. Because she was like, yeah, I got suspended because somebody told on me because I was smoking in the bathroom. I was like, man, this is off as hell, man. Right? And then, today, brothers won't even believe it, man. Today, right after practice, I was just like, unhooking my bike and whatnot, right? And I was just chilling and basically about to go back home, right? And literally, she was asking me about, am I against the LGBTQ elemental P party, man? I was like, yeah, I am, right? Because the Lord's not dealing with that, right? And then I was like, yeah, because the Bible, and she's like, why? Like, why does the Bible say that? I was like, because it says it's confusion, right? Kind of summed it up like that. It's confusion for real, right? Because the Lord, He created man and woman and nothing else, right? And she was like, yeah. I was like, you agree with that? She was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, you know, and there's other people around, you know, and I hate it when people try to add in. They really don't know what they're talking about, bro. Like, are you all right? Yeah, let's just be honest. You don't for real don't know what you're talking about. But hey, the main point is kind of find out this Eve is there bisexual, man. Madness, madness, man. It's just mad. It's just filthy conversation of the wicked, bisexuality. Where's that in the scriptures? Where did the Lord say, thou, thou canst love a woman, but thou canst also love a man? Right? The Lord never said something like that. The Lord never said bisexual, right? That's something that Esau made up. That's just a spirit. That's just a demon, man. Upon you. But yeah, there's a lot of wickedness. There's a lot of wickedness. But yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. But when people try to start chiming in, you're having that one conversation. You really don't care about having it. You're just trying to do your own thing. Next thing you know, someone overhears it. You said, so you don't like homosexual? They say out loud, you don't like homosexual? Next thing you know, you got all this a whole group of people chiming in. They have to defend the gospel at school, man.
That's right, man. That's right.
It's funny because that happened. I know that happened to you, man. That's so funny as heck. That happened to me one time at high school. I was debating something, and it was one female. It was an Edomite. The next thing you know, a group of freshmen came out of nowhere, scoffing, man. Right before class started, scoffing, and then I had a whole group of scoffers. I lie not, man. A whole group of scoffers, and I'm getting precepts out and things of that nature, man. And I know exactly what you mean. And that's how you know this place is wicked. Because when you say something righteous, you won't have a lot of people come out of nowhere saying, oh, can you show this? Can you show that? How do we do this? But right when you say something that offends somebody, out of nowhere, demons start to pile up. That's how you know this land is full of darkness, man.
That's right.
Right? But I do want to keep going in that real quick. Isaiah 47 verse 9. Dang, man. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, and one day the loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thy enchantments. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge. Notice how, like the brother said, it always say I. You always say I and things of that nature. But in this too, it says thy wisdom, thy understanding. Because it's not the most high understanding, man. They get their understanding from Satan. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. You see that? And that's Esau. That's the pride of Esau the brother's going into in Isaiah, I believe, in chapter 10, if I'm not mistaken, and verse 12 to verse 13, and on things of that nature. Mm-hmm. Right? They're very prideful. And pride wasn't made for men. I believe that's in Sirach, if I'm not mistaken. That's in Sirach. Pride wasn't made for man, and so when pride is upon man, that's why men fall, have a great fall, because it wasn't made for men to be prideful, and things of that nature. Man was made to be upright, but then they saw wicked inventions. But this is a book of Sirach. I don't think this is what I want, but Sirach chapter 10 and verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from God, and his heart is turned away from his Maker. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination, and therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. So what happened with the Egyptians? They had pride. Guess what? They got taken down. But you got it, King.
Khan, that's right. I just wanted to, I believe the precept you're looking for is verse 18 in that same chapter. Sirach 10.
Khan, the water. Pride was not, Sirach 10 and verse 18, pride was not made for man, nor furious anger for them that are born of a woman. The water Malak. So it wasn't made for man. The Egyptians, guess what? They had their chance to let Moses go, Moses and the people of Israel go multiple times. But guess what? Darkness came upon them, plague came upon them, and guess what? Next thing you know, the children of Israel, they're in the wilderness, and a Pharaoh and his servants, they're in the spiritual world. They're in the spiritual world, man. Why? Because they was prideful. Go ask the Assyrians what happened when it was prideful to take over the Lord's people and not let them go. Go ask the Babylonians. Go ask Nebuchadnezzar what happened when he got prideful. He's going to tell you his heart was changed to a beast heart, and guess what? And now he understood that Most High God, he's the ruler of the man of men. You know, and things that, like it says in Daniel 4. You know, and things of that nature. Go ask the Persian and the Medes. Go ask the Grecians. Go ask the Roman Empire what happened when they came against the Israelites. The Israelites always got free. In that kingdom who had them in slavery and things of that nature, they always went down. That's why we got one more verse. I don't want to be long with it. So lock it, Malak.
You got it. You got it. You good.
That's why I love this verse. I was talking to the brother about this verse too in Isaiah 14 and verse 9, and it reads, "Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their throne. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations." Now, when you read this in a different translation, it basically is saying all these kings that thought the same thing that Babylon thinks right now, that they're going to rule forever, that they're going to have the children of Israel in captivity forever. Guess what? They all thought the same thing. And these the Egyptian Pharaoh that's in the spiritual world, these different kingdoms, they're waiting for Babylon to fall too. They're waiting to meet Babylon in the spiritual world because they knew what happened at the latter end. They knew having that spirit is going to get you put to death, man. But kind of, if you don't mind, can you read the? Man, I need to get a computer ASAP, man. You know, this phone is not the way to go. Let me see.
NOT.
You read the first one.
NIV.
Yeah.
Isaiah chapter 14 verse 9 in the NIV says the realm of the dead below is all astir to meet you at your coming.
Right. They can't wait to meet Esau, Babylon, stuff like that, the spirit of Babylon at their coming, man, in the spiritual world. They can't wait to meet you. They're excited. They heard of your presence. That you're about to meet them. All right, read. It's like, you know, I'm at camp. Be having that camp spirit sometimes. Yeah, you got it, though.
God, all praise. It says it arouses the spirits of the departed to greet you. All those who were leaders in the world.
The Egyptian kingdom, all the leaders were the Egyptian kingdoms. All these main captivities, Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, Persia, right, Greeks, Romans, even all these different world leaders. That's what it's talking about. You got it.
It makes them rise from the thrones, all those who are kings over the nations.
So wait, guess what? When Babylon get destroyed, man, you in the spiritual world, you're going to have Pharaoh stand up and shake your hand saying, "Nice to meet you." That's cold, man. The Lord cold, man. But yeah, Khan, you got it, though.
Man, the Lord really gets poetic in this thing, man. All the while, basically getting on you, you know, in the most poetic fashion, right? So that's the Lord, man. Khan, and I just want to pull a precept real quick. Went into Esau's wisdom, right? Because you got that, you know, the wisdom on the right hand side, but you also have wisdom on the left hand side. James chapter 3 verse 15. All right. It says, right, hold on. All right. I'm gonna start verse 13. It says, "Who is a wise man and endowed with wisdom amongst you?" So who is that wise man? Who do we know who do you know is a wise man? Right? It says, "And endowed with knowledge amongst you. Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom." So we have to understand the conversation of men, right? And really that word conversation is going into conduct, but we can still apply that to that same, because part of your conduct is your literal conversation, like what you literally say and speak. So how a man conducts himself, how he walks, how he talks, you know, is he keeping the commandments? Is he righteous, etc., right? Verse 14. "But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie not against the truth. This wisdom descended not from above." So Esau's wisdom, it doesn't come from the Most High. You know, just like how the brother was saying, thy wisdom, thy labor, because it's strange to the Lord. On one fold, the Lord, he doesn't know Esau's signs. He doesn't know that. The Lord, he doesn't know all this folly and madness that Esau betrays. He knows them. He knows that not. He only knows, hey, guess what? The words, right? This wisdom right here, right? It says this wisdom descended not from above, but it's earthly, sensual, devilish. It's carnal, man, right? Because Esau is a carnal man, right? But Khan.
Oh, yeah, that's all I have. Actually, I can get I can get a precept on that. Unless you want to go ahead and keep going on the topic.
I just had a quick precept.
Yeah, you got it. Go ahead.
I just had a quick precept on essentially the people, because like how I always say, this world is ran off of lust. So I want to get this Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 35. It says, "They have stricken me, shalt thou say, and I was not sick. They have beaten me, and I felt to not. When shall I awake? I will seek it again." So our people, man, it doesn't even matter what happens to them, right? They just want to indulge in their lust. They're looking forward to the party that's going to come past Friday night. They go to the party. They have a fun time. They indulge in their pleasure, their vanity, their folly. Then the daytime arises, and then the party's over, and then they go and seek another one, right? They just seek it. It's just they're never appeased, man. Just like how the Lord says, the eye is not filled with seeing. Let me get that precept real quick. Right, the eye is not filled with seeing. Right. It's the book of Ecclesiastes. All right, I'm gonna get Ecclesiastes real quick. Man, our people, man, and people of the world as well. Right. Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 8. All things are full of labor, man cannot utter it. Right. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. So the eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. People are always going to seek after, the pleasure, right? What can we do? You know what I'm saying? What else can we do? What else is there? Even when these people, these rich men, these rich men that have literally everything, they seek after, when things is when you reach basically your top pleasure, they want to top that pleasure. It's kind of like getting high. You know what I'm saying? Like I have never been, I have never smoked, so you know what I'm saying. I don't know, but just going off of what people tell or say, you get high, you reach that high, right? Then you smoke that same amount. It doesn't really get you there, right? It doesn't really get you there to the first time. So you have to kind of smoke some more, and it'll get you on top of that. Then you have to smoke some more and get you on top of that. Then boom, 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 and it just keeps stacking up. And you have to smoke all of this just to get to this high, right? So it's like that with the people of this world. They should keep indulging in folly and madness, and guess what? It's just going to wax worse and worse and worse, right? And they'll come and seek it again. And even on the physical level, when it talks about they have stricken me, shalt thou say, and I was not sick. They have beaten me, and I felt to not. On one fold, who's going around beating these people that's drunk with this wine? And the watchman, because when you go to the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 7, it literally tell you that. Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 7, the watchmen that went about the city found me, they smote me, right? They wounded me. The keepers of the walls took away my veil from me. So the watchmen, they go about the city. They start beating the people up, right? Start uppercut, jab, right? Start beating them up, not on a physical, but with the what? We start cutting them up and beating them up with the word, right? Cutting them up so that we can build them up and take off their garments from them and put on that holy garment. It's like how it says in the book of Job, chapter 29, verse 14, real quick. All right, Job chapter 29, verse 14. All right. It says, I put on righteousness and it clothed me. My judgment was as a robe and a diadem. So you want to put on righteousness because that's what what you want to be clothed on in the last days. Right? But really going back to the topic, the night is coming. So damn, kind of straight off, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good to the spirit. It's all edification. Right? But Khan, you got it, King.
Yeah. Let me see what I can get. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I could probably get one more. Let's see.
Khan.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 24, and I'm gonna jump down here and there a little, I'll start verse 3. The land shall be utterly empty and utterly spoiled, for the Lord hath spoken this word. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. And notice how it said the haughty people, the prideful people. And what's pride? Remember, the beginning of pride is departing from the Most High God to commit sin and things in that nature, like it says in Sirach. So these people who don't keep the commandments, guess what? Those are going to be the people in languishing, in darkness, in turmoil, and confusion in those last days. Like it says in that Sirach, not Sirach, Second Esdras 5, a lot of confusion going to be upon our earth, man. Right? The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burnt, and few men left. I'm gonna keep going though, it's about to get to the point. The new one mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry hearted do sigh, man. So when you on that what's it called? On that Book of Eli type spirit, you're on that. There's another movie, that Will Smith spirit, that movie. I forgot what the title of that movie is.
Legend.
Yeah, Legend. I'm Legend, right? Yeah.
Legend.
So when you're on that type of time, you by yourself, you're gonna be mourning. You're gonna be thinking about all the times you was partying. You had all your friends around. Y'all had a hot box in a car, in a closet, in a damn, I don't know, in a bathroom, at school, being wicked as heck, right? You had all these things. You was having fun. But when you're by yourself in that day, you're gonna wish you had people to talk to. Guess what? You're gonna realize that it was all for nothing. It was all a mirage. It was all a so-called dream, a fairy tale, man. And now really reality gonna hit you, and now you're in complete darkness. You're in confusion, right? The mirth of tabrets ceaseth. The noise of them that rejoice endeth. The joy of the harp ceaseth. And even so like I'm gonna jump down to verse 10. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. There is crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. So the mirth of the land gonna be gone. No more going to Six Flags. No more going to what's it called? I don't know what other place they got. Andretti, arcade, bowling, and things of that nature. They're gonna have. Hey man, now let me give one more precept though. This is because Jeremiah chapter 25. I think you already brought this one out. I'm still going to bring it out though. Jeremiah 25 and verse 10, and it reads, Moreover, I will take from them the voice of mirth, and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride, the sound of the millstones, and the light of the candle. So this light going to be put out. You're not going to be sick in your house on that day. Your house are going to be gone, because remember, you're going to withdraw wisdom from the earth. So all wisdom, knowledge, and understanding going to be off the earth, and nothing but wickedness going to be upon the earth, man. It's either you get it now or you don't get it at all. You got to get it while it's hot, and then before it gets tossed in the trash. But
Gone. That's right. That's right, King. All right. I just want to get this preset real quick. All right. I want to get this preset real quick. Ezekiel. I bring it down. Ezekiel 32 verse 7. And it reads. All right. It says, and when I shall put thee out, I will cover the heaven and make the stars thereof dark, and I will cover the sun with a cloud, and the moon shall not give her light, and the bright lights of heaven will I make dark over thee, and set darkness upon thy land, saith the Lord God. I will also vex the hearts of many people, when it shall bring thy destruction among the nations, into the countries which thou hast not known, man. You see that? So the Lord said that he when he essentially, and this is going into him pronouncing judgment against Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. But essentially, hey, this can also be applied to Esau. So when he destroys Esau, right, he's going to make what? He's going to cover the heavens, right? And he's going to make the star thereof dark, and he's going to cover the sun with a cloud, and the moon's not going to give her light, man. Meaning on one fold, destroying their knowledge and their wisdom and their understanding. And Isaiah chapter 10, verses 17 on down talks about that too. Destroying Babylon's thorns and briars in one day. Just like how it says in the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter, that in 1 hour, right, Babylon is judged. That 1 hour, you understand? That one day type thing is going into what? Essentially a short period of time, right? In a short period of time, Esau was, and then he is not, man, right? A short period of time, Esau has fluent wealth, and he is not, right? And they're going to say, hey, where is he? Right? Pursuant to the book of Job. He's going to flee off like that, man. Where is he? And even in the book of Obadiah, it says that what? It's going to be like these nations weren't weren't even like how they are right now. So like I'm gonna read that real quick. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 15. For the day the Lord is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. So that's that Matthew 7 and 12 spirit. It says, therefore, whatsoever things ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them. For this is the law and the prophets. So if you want people to put you in captivity, if you want people to whip your back, if you want people to kill and take your babies from you, then go ahead and do that to the children of Israel. I guarantee you it's going to come back to you, right? Pursuant to many precepts, man. Right? So if you want to treat us like trash, the children of Israel, all right. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee, right? Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. The Lord said continually, right? It didn't say just one cup. It said continually. Yea, they shall drink and they shall swallow down. Yeah, it's not like a child, you didn't want to drink that medicine. So you kind of put it in your mouth. It's just staying there. And you don't want to swallow it, right? Or you put that medicine in your mouth, you kind of spit it out somewhere. Nah, man, you have to swallow it down. I mean, take of all the affliction. Yeah, get every single piece thereof. Taste every single bitterness of it. Because that's what we're experiencing right now, man. We're tasting the affliction, the cup of the Lord, and also the cup that the Lord put for the whole nation of Israel. That's it. We're drinking damn double cups over here, man. Because Israel, they got it bad in the world, but at least, what I'm saying, they don't have the same type of stress, same type of afflictions, and the same type of temptations and whatnot that we experience in this truth. So we even have more to deal with. We have a bigger cup, than most of our people in the world, right? If that makes sense. Around one fold. But it says what? Yea, they shall drink and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. So Esau is going to be like as though he had never been. All this fluent wealth, the gold, the diamonds, the jewelry, the skyscrapers, right? It's gonna be thrown down. It's gonna be like Esau never had ruled, man. But Khan, you got it, King.
Khan, that's all I had.
Khan. All right, Khan. So yeah, all praise to the Most High. So at this time, we can bring out our closing precepts. If you got yours, you can bring it out.
I'll get mine real quick.
Khan.
This is because John. Let me see which one I want. Where's John chapter 16 and verse 33, and it reads, "These things have I spoken unto you, that in me you might have peace. In the world you shall have tribulation." So in the world you're going to have tribulation. You're going to go through it. Yahushua went through it. The prophets went through it.
Right.
The servants of the Lord, they all went through it, man. So you over here complaining because you got to go through it. But let's be real. You know, if you're going through it, guess what? That means you're doing something right because you're on the same path, the same tracks of the righteous forefathers of Abraham, Noah, Adam, David, Yahushua, Peter, Paul, James, John, Bartholomew, Thomas. You're on the same path as all of them, man. You're walking down the same road they walked through. You know, you seen the same trees they saw, the same skyscraper probably, or the same sign, the same grass they saw. If you have ears to hear, because you're on the same road, man. You saw that same crack in the road that they walked past because they walked on that same road. That means you're doing something great, man. You might get persecuted. You're gonna be hated at work. People look at you as a weirdo. You're despised. Every time you start to talk, they hate when you start speaking because you always got to drop knowledge in it. You use terminology from the Bible to to and fro, stuff like that. Yeah, you use terminology from the Bible. They hate that, man. Why do you speak like that? Speak like what? You know, like weird and things of that nature. Hey, guess what? You gonna have tribulation. Why you got rug or carpet on your shirt? Oh, fringes? Yeah, whatever the thing is called. You gonna get made fun of, man. But guess what? That happened to Yahushua. That happened to the prophets, and that's light, man. That's light affliction. You gotta change your mentality and your mindset, and have a different perspective on things. Like on 2K, I remember you can change the perspective mode or the view, and things of that nature. It could be side on the side baseline, or it can be I believe it's called 2K mode or something like that. It's straight like that. We can have bird eyes view. You gotta change your perspective in this thing, man. Right? And it reads, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Straight like that. You should be happy that even Yahweh shall overcome the world, and he knows that you can do it because he's chosen you. And Lord willing, the brother Yasharala, he's part of the elect. So when he starts feeling down, the Lord, guess what? He's on that time clock now. I can't. Nah, I need him to make the kingdom. All right, hey, Michael, go do this. Put a spirit in him. Make him do a video. I need him to make the kingdom, man. If you're watching this, nah, I can't let him be going through this, man. He might fall out if he don't get that. If I don't do this thing for him, all right, go do this for him and give him a gift, give him some benefits, and show him a sign, show him a charity, give him hope in this thing. And things of that nature, man. So just know the Lord is with you. He won't put you through something that's too hard for you. You should be happy when the Lord tests your, kind of pull your card and see how you're gonna do. Because the Lord wants to see how you're gonna react. Are you gonna fold under pressure, or are you gonna come out on top, man? The Lord's looking for leadership. He's looking for leaders. He's looking for soldiers, man. And this thing, who's gonna come out on top? Or are you gonna be that soldier, or are you gonna be someone who folds under pressure and get trodden underfoot? Because you got certain men who really want this thing. If you don't really want it, hey, Yasharala, he might push you out the way because you're in his way, man. He might grab you by the dang jacket because you might be in front of him. He might grab you by the damn hoodie and pull you back and say, "Get out the way, man. Like, I really want it." Then you might say something under your breath saying, "What you say?" And then y'all gonna turn back saying, "Man, hey, I said what I said, man." And keep it pushing, right? And it is what it is. I think I have one more preset. Let me see. Well, that's it. But Con, you got it, Ken.
Con. That was very, very exhortating to the spirit, man. All praise it. The Lord said, and he that exhorteth on exhortation. So all praises, man. Con. That's very good precepts, right? So I got this as well, kind of exhortation as well, and hope. Let's go to Psalms chapter 30 and verse 4. It says, "What? Sing unto Yahweh, O ye saints of his, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holiness. For his anger endureth but a moment." So yeah, the Lord may be angry at us right now, right? The Lord may be even angry at us in this truth, because for certain sins that we might have done, or we might have skipped a day of reading, might have skipped a prayer. You know what I'm saying? We might have skipped the sacrifice, and the Lord may be angry at us. We don't even know it. Damn. Right? But guess what? The Lord is not an unrighteous man. Neither is he a wavering man. Guess what? He's a righteous man. So it says, "For his anger endureth but a moment." The Lord's not going to tell you, don't let your the wrath go upon, or let not the sun go down upon your wrath, right? And he doesn't do that same thing either. The Lord is not a hypocrite, right? The Lord doesn't keep his anger forever toward his own people, right? Because remember, it says, "O ye saints of his," not talking about the other nations, right? It's talking about the saints. Last time I checked, The saints, according to the book of Psalms, chapter 148 and verse 14, the saints are the children of Israel, man. Right? But it says what? For his anger endureth but a moment, in his favor is life. Weeping may endure for a night. So weeping, guess what? On one fold, it's the night right now, right? And we're weeping in this thing, man. I even was talking to an Israelite sister that I was trying to teach the spirit, but she was like, "Is there anywhere I can go where there's no evil upon the earth?" I was like, "There's not. There's nowhere really you can go for real." I said, "You can. Hey, guess where you can go? You can bury yourself in these scriptures. You can go into these scriptures, and that's where there's no wickedness in." Right? But then, hey, she started crying, man, because there's really, she sees the oppression, she sees the demons, the vexations that's on our people and on her, and she just says, "I'm just trying to get away, man." Right? So weeping may endure for a night. All this stuff that we're going through is temporary. The pain, the suffering, the affliction, the temptation, all of it is temporary. And that's why Paul reminds us through the Spirit that we must look on the things that are internal, which cannot be seen, pursuant to the book of 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter and the 16th verse on down. So weeping may endure for a night, but joy, right? That joy, that everlasting joy, that true joy. You might be joyous, to get a new Bible. You might be joyous to see the Akim, right? You might be joyous to get a wife, right? That might be your joyful day. But there's no more joyful day. There's not a more joyful day than to literally enter into the kingdom of heaven, knowing that you made it, huh? Knowing that you made it, knowing that you were worthy enough to receive the immortal body, to receive dominion, to get literally delivered out of this world, right? It says joy cometh in the morning. And we're waiting for that morning time, man. Because remember, in the nighttime, just like Abaya said, there's 12 hours in a day and 12 hours in the night. You just gotta endure this nighttime that's coming and see the morning. Right? That morning time with that sun coming up, that sun literally, if you got ears to hear, it's never going to come back down. Right? So with that, all praises. Say Yahweh, Bahashim Mashah, Malaki, man. This is Brother Yasha Ali.
Brother Abaya.
Coming back to yet another video to the Spirit Pod Yahweh Shema Shah Lucky Shah. The water for all that has tuned into the Spirit. Lord willing, this is edifying. It's kind of like a meaty class of the Spirit going into different topics, and the Spirit will move as it listens, man. So come with that. Again, all praise to Yahweh Shema Shah Lucky Shah. Shalom. Shalom.